What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today, you see at the beginning of the video, Hellboy was racing against my buddy Kyle's Grand Am GT, and it's the man right here. So today we're just going to discuss about his car, because I'm sure people want to know about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you, Kyle.
All right, man. Well, obviously, you guys can see the Grand Am. It's actually a 2001 body with a bunch of other parts in there from other years. Working with a 3.5 out of a G6. It's just a bigger version of a 3.4. Little Easter egg. They actually came with a forged crank and powdered rod, so a little bit of a cushion there for power. Swapped it to a F40 6-speed manual, more or less to make it fun, and it's a lot of fun doing it that way. As far as the power, we went ahead and strapped a 60mm turbo in there. It's a Garrett / Precision hybrid. The headers are actually from Millsy Motorsports, if you guys have heard of that, and the goods and bads. It's cammed. I work with Wotech a lot. He's got a lot of my motor stuff, so it's cam, push rods, heavier springs. We got phenolic intake spacers in there between the upper and lower. Got ported upper and lower manifolds. Got the TC billet 65mm throttle body. Go see what she wants. Go ask her. Okay, we'll go get her. I run all 2-inch piping from turbo all the way through, intercooler down front, up, back, and across into the throttle there. Tile 44mm wastegate. Running 10 pounds right now, and that's what you guys saw me on in the video, which is just barely above spring pressure. All this work has pretty much just been me, and even with the tuning has been me just trial and error, figuring out if it works. Cool. Starts running funny, you go back to where you were. So that's this build is probably 5 years old. 2 years into it, the body I had actually rotted out. We went to change the side skirts and found the typical rocker rust. It was all the way in the floor pan, up the side. So we went down to Georgia and actually picked up this nice clean body for $500, and then just swapped everything on it and just kept going.
Now, some people are going to be like, what is SCT? So if you want to explain the SCT.
Okay, so the SCT, if you come around back, that's to the badge that kind of goes along with it. So in '99, when they debuted these things, GM actually dropped a prototype, or concept if you may, that was supercharged, and it had this body kit, which is there's a front lip, a rear lip, and then the side skirts kind of take the shape to keep the flow going. And they actually threw an Eaton M45 on it, and it sat right down front. So the idea kind of builds off of that, in my own version of, how I think it should be.
You even got the seats too.
I got the seats. So in '05 they dropped a version where it was just the seats, the badge. They got a special hood and a spoiler. But yeah, I just wanted to keep the interior kind of stock as well.
That's man, it's like
it keeps it nice, and it's drivable. Actually, another Easter egg, the shift knob is actually one of the rare ones out of an SLP Firehawk. I was able to snag one of those, and the reason for that is because I run an SLP muffler.
Nice.
So
I like how you got the e-brake right there too. I wish I could have had that on my car. There's no way I was able to do it.
Yeah, it lowered on eye box, so it's It's about 10 years old in the suspension, and it still rides like it's brand new. It sits low enough that it looks good, but it's not too low to where I smack everything.
Mm-hmm. Did you do brake upgrades on it?
We got F-body up front. I just left the stocks out back. With how light these cars are, that front F-body is
Oh man, they're night and day.
night and day.
Night and day.
Absolutely night and day.
They're good on my Grand Prix. I can imagine on your car too.
With a curb rate of about 3,100.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad.
Yep.
Let's see. So exhaust. So it's turbo back. It's all 2.5. No cat, no res. To an SLP loudmouth. They actually came on these cars. Well, not come in the cars. You could buy the aftermarket kit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to snag one of those. It's kind of how this car was built. There's a lot of part outs and finding random stuff in random places across the country.
Yep. Same here.
Taking long drives, and like Troy, you have that vision. You just want to make it happen. So
Yep.
that's what we did. It looked good on paper, so here we are in person. Let's see what else. I did do bigger sway bars. There was an aftermarket for that back in the day, so I was able to snag front and rear with poly bushings. Let me tell you, that was a heck of an upgrade. This car corners like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, you actually took it to an autocross track in was it Atlanta? Or you went to?
So Atlanta was the Motor Speedway where they raced the NASCARs, and I had this on the back stretch at about 140, just cruising. No, as far as testing the steering, we just went to Pontiac's and Pigeon Forge in Tennessee, and you take a cruise up into the mountain, like up in the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So when everyone left, I kind of hung back, and then when we hit it, man, the breaking point was the tires. That thing didn't lean, get nothing. It was literally the tires started giving out.
Yep.
So it's just amazing with how the suspension this thing is. So the exhaust, it's all turbo back, 2.5, no cat, no res, and just like I said, SLP. I like the Grand Prix. I run the SD hood. The things they kind of carried across from platforms.
I didn't even know nothing about that until you showed me
you
too.
know, and it's such a good hood. I went ahead and grabbed one for my daily, and then I got one in the shed too.
That's crazy.
And then I like the sleek. I like sleek. I like low profile. So this is RK Sport made this wing for the Grand Ams. And funny enough, if any of y'all are familiar with late 90s, early 2000s Mustangs, I want you to go ahead and take a look at their drag wing. They call it a drag wing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Actually, we'll stray here for a little bit because it's a funny subject. If you look at the early 2000s GT wing, same thing.
Wow.
But yeah, like Troll does Grand Prix, I do Grand Ams.
Fun fact: he drives a Silverado. I drive a Silverado. His main race car is his Grand Am. Mine is my Grand Prix. His daily fun car is his Grand Am, and mine is my Grand Prix. Crazy. But yeah.
I mean, we just keep going. We don't stop with one build either. Like Troll here, we've got some other builds coming up too.
They have a centrifugal supercharger for a Grand Am that I didn't even know existed. That's crazy. So that'll be on his YouTube channel, which is that's a sticker on the back window, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Check him out. This is all his social media platforms right there. You can see the full build on this car, and then a couple of our other buddies' cars he be helping them out with is on his channel too. So.
Oh, do you guys about audio? Do you like audio?
Oh yeah.
Well, boy, do I got something for you. I didn't stop at performance. We had to make sure we sounded good inside and out. So I'm a big fan of JL audio.
Hold on.
Alright, so I'm a big fan of JL. I've always been a big fan of JL. So I finally was able to build a car where I can do everything JL. So 112, 250 monoblock. Now this is all old school stuff. new school stuff's too expensive. So we go with the old school stuff that's real reliable. And if you peek back there, I've also got 2 4-channel amps as well. One channel runs my rear setup, which is 2 6.5, 2 5 1/4, and there's 2-inch tweeters on the C-pillars. And then my front, we went ahead and threw 5 1/4 in the door, and then 3/4-inch tweeters up there.
Nice.
Let me tell you, she sings.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, this thing got a nitrous tank."
So the story behind that is, before we did the turbo, we had this thing set up for a nitrous cam buildup, and then the turbo showed up, so we kind of scrapped it, but it is ran. For those that are like, "Oh, it's just sitting there," no, the lines ran to the motor. We just haven't decided what we're going to do with it. Safety tells me to just spray the intercooler, use the cooling effects of it. My shenanigans tells me to just spray the car, so we'll see what happens with that. But I don't know if you noticed the battery was missing, but we went for the full this will pass race tracks, their specs.
Yep.
It's vented and everything.
Yep.
So I want to make sure, you know, I'm not out there trying to race and impress anybody. If I want to go have some fun, they're not going to stop me for some stupid like a battery being open.
Yep.
So, all right, fire it up and
Yeah, fire it up, man. That's badass.
So, yesterday I was starting to play a little bit. That's close to 900 RPM. That was back when I was trying to figure out the whole manual and
Yeah.
everything. Dude, I dropped it down to 750 and up the time to like 27 degrees at idle.
Tap it a couple times.
It was bad. It was fantastic. So I'm like, alright, well I guess I'll put that too. It's the black part. Right? There you go. Ready? Cheers. Ready?
That's it, man. We'll end the video right here. If you want to know more about Kyle's Grand Am, tune into his YouTube channel once again. And anything you want to say?
Hey, we're out here having fun. Any questions, let me know.
All right, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.